The all-new WMEG Radio.
Hey, well, thanks for taking the time to be on the show this afternoon, Dave. So how's everything going?
Everything's going well, man. I can't really complain, you know.
Got you.
Today was a good day.
That's good. That's good. I say every day, if you're above ground, you know, it's a good day. So I'd say it's a great day for you. Well, again, I'm very just happy to have you on, you know, and I must tell you this, Dave. I had mentioned it. I don't know if he was listening to the show earlier, but to the listening audience, Dave is one of my partners. We used to take trips down to Brazil, and we had a chauffeur, Ramiro, and Dave, whether or not you know it, I got a call from Ramiro. So he said he's going to be tuning in, so you might want to give him a shout out yourself before we get started.
Okay. What's up, Ramiro? If you're listening, how you doing? I hope you're well.
All right. Very good. Very good. Yeah, so Dave, getting started here, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and everything.
Well, I live in D.C. I'm from D.C. I grew up here, so been here for the last several decades, many decades, been, living here, been, just been here, went to school here, grew up here. The whole 9 yards.
Okay, so you Washington D.C. 100% to the max.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, very good, very good.
And still love the go-go music too.
You into the go-go scene? I heard you. I got you on that one. I can get into a little bit of Chuck Brown and some of the other ones also. I must say. So, hey, Dave, what's the name of your company? You tell the listening audience.
The name of the company is Cool Products. And of course, like I said, we're located here in D.C. The website itself is coolcards.com. That's our primary product, are these new playing cards. I say new, but they've actually been around for quite a few years now.
When you say playing cards, you mean like if you're playing poker or something like that, or is it
exactly? It's just a new take on playing cards. They are, with playing cards with a focus on, enlightening. It's sort of based on trying to enlighten our collective consciousness, trying to uplift our minds and our community, that type of thing.
Got you. Understood. That sounds exciting, man. That sounds really good. You got a deck of cards that is designed to uplift and enlighten the consciousness of the people. Now,
correct.
How did you come up with this, Dave?
I basically came up with it from reading all these different books, like books by Dr. Ben, Sheikh Anta Diop, just a lot of these black historical books, even Tony Browder's book, just all these historical, predominantly black authors about, the black collective, consciousness and history and all this thing. So I was sort of thinking, okay, we have all these different authors with all these different books, but what could kind of, bring all that together, all that information together. So I kind of it's basically a compilation of books, even songs that I've heard over my lifetime.
Okay.
About just the whole black consciousness that kind of compelled me to kind of, come up with this idea.
I got you. Understood. Now, let me ask you, when you're saying history, with your cards, where does the history start? Are you starting it in the U.S. after slavery, or, are you starting it prior to slavery, or just, at what point in time do your cards, the information that's being conveyed or being, made available is, to the players of the cards, what period in time are you focusing on with these cards?
Well, I'm focusing on the cards have a basic ancient tint to them, I would say, but it's basically looking at our history, over the past thousands of years, even into the current time. So it's just a cumulative type of design with I aim to, like I said, raise our consciousness, because if you look at the traditional deck of cards, I mean, it's probably the first set of games that we all ever played, was with, the traditional deck of cards. But if you really look at the traditional deck of cards, they're not very cultural. They don't promote anything historical for us. Sure. And there's not really anything of value with the traditional deck of cards, and everything. A lot of things in this world, in this civilization, is subliminal. Okay. And the cards kind of try to promote that.
Got you. That really sounds hot, man. It sounds very good. Could you give an example, maybe, of a historical something related to history that would be in the cards? And first of all, before you even answer that, are all the cards, each deck, they all have the same, I would say the same number of cards, but do they have the same information, each one, with the same characters or the same historical figures?
No. The cards, for example, with the traditional deck, you have, let me see, you have your diamonds, your spades, your hearts, and your other. With this deck of cards, you have what's called, you have the water symbol, which is new. You have the Sphinx, you have the pyramid, and you have the Ankh. Okay, so those would be the suits.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah, it's totally a different take. The cards aren't even rectangular; they are actually pyramid shaped.
Oh man, wow, that sounds hot. Wow. Yeah. And so you're taking it all the way back to the Kemetic times, huh? Were you talking about?
I'm going back. Well, it kind of reflects the original kings. If you look at the traditional deck kind of promotes the the European kings. If you look at the kings on the traditional deck of cards, it's basically from the European kings. So my card goes back to the original kings of planet Earth, which would be not exclusively, but primarily the Pharaonic kings and so forth. So it's based on that whole culture, and it's basically to promote, order and have some reflection on how far our civilization has existed, how long it has existed.
Yeah, because I feel, personally, there's just a lack of information and knowledge related to that, and I would say for various reasons. And there's been a lot of question as to who, the people actually were, and again,
right.
You mentioned studying Dr. Ben and who was one of the other persons that you mentioned.
Even Ivan Sertima.
Oh, yes.
They came before Columbus. So it's like I said, it's a compilation of knowledge. It's like even you could even look at somebody like like Bob Marley with his
Sure.
music. Some of that is involved in it too, because it's like just listen to songs like Zion Train or Redemption Song or We and Them. You know,
Yes.
it like gives you a whole new perspective on ourselves and, you know, the situation I would say that we find ourselves in.
Gotcha. Very, very good. And I think, again, you know, that type of information, it's going to help to elevate self-esteem and confidence. I think those are some of the things that are missing, you know, with us today.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because so many, I mean, you know, there are different arguments. You know, I've heard some scholars saying, why in the world do African Americans want to try and go back to Africa when you have a history right here that was created within the United States, and we just focus on that and forget about the past. But, you know, I just view that personally, I view that as a problem, simply because, you know, what you're doing is you're trying to focus. If you look from everything that I have learned, Dave, is we don't know how long we have been here as a people on this planet. We don't know how long, okay? But we know that, you know, every time you listen to science and archaeologists, and they come back and they say, oh, no, we thought it was just this many years, but we just found this we found the bones of somebody in Ethiopia or in Kenya and Uganda, and that dates back 1.5 million years. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't even know. And so for me, to eliminate all of that, millions and millions of years of history, even though there is no written history about a lot of it, I think that there was history about it, and I think a lot of it was looted, it was burnt, and destroyed. But just to go back to that particular area, or the time in which we do know about, I think it would do so much for the psyche and for the consciousness, you know, of the African American people. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, but I would say that, you know, some of it was written down. I mean, it was written in the hieroglyphs.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, like I said, the cards. Part of the cards that I was focusing on are the principles of Ma'at, which is basically, you know, the laws of ancient Egypt. You know, and it's hard to think about laws and ancient Egypt without thinking about the Ten Commandments. So, you know, it's sort of interrelated in that when you start talking about ancient laws, you have to include those too, because those are the laws that basically govern civilization. If we didn't all agree collectively to promote and to, you know, and try to focus on laws collectively, you know, you can't have a civilization.
I heard that.
You know.
Yeah.
So the cards are basically, like I said, you know, they're an attempt to enlighten. I mean, if you want to go read books, you know, to follow up on what the cards are trying to promote. I mean, there are plenty of books available as we just spoke on.
Yes.
You know, so you know, the cards are just a support. It's just a support to kind of, you know, enhance your mental acuity.
Yes.
For understanding, you know, collectively our history, because you just can't look at our history as starting over the last 400 years. It's a lot deeper than that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. So I
you know, that 400 years here on this side of the world is just a drop in the bucket. You know,
that is all. It's just a flash. That is it. And when you take into consideration again the length of time that we've been here. Now, let me ask you this, Dave. Okay, with the game, with the cards, do you mind explaining how a game is played? You know, what's the objective of?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about it, basically all the games have I would say ancient Kemetic theme. You know, but the games are patterned. The deck is totally different. There are like 58 cards in my deck. You know, but the games are patterned after conventional games. Like I have a game called, you know, Dynasty.
Yes. For
example, the go fishing game with this particular deck would be called going down the Nile.
Wow.
You know, that sort of information. So, like I said, it's just totally a different perspective. The games, if anybody, you know, plays plays or have played regular cards, it should be pretty easy to pick up on the pattern.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
the cards look differently, the symbology is different, but the concept is basically the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Just to maintain some of the similarities of what people already play, but incorporate new information
Exactly.
and everything into it.
Exactly.
So you're dealing with...
But the symbology is different. The symbology is different, and if you know anything, you know everything is about symbols.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Now, let me ask you, who is your target market? Who do you try and who are you selling these cards to?
My target market is basically the Black community, you know, and in particular our youth.
Yes.
You know, because I think that our youth needs something to you know, inspire them. You know, something to look forward to the future. You know, so it's basically to try to uplift our youth and kind of promote information that what we're dealing with today is just a temporary situation, and we have to plan and focus on the future, because the future, you know, for our children and their children, you know, so it's kind of along those lines.
Okay. And one thing I do want to say, because I don't know if we have anyone in the listening audience who might be interested in questions, but I do just want to make the announcement that if anyone does have a question for Dave or myself, feel free. You can call in at 443-267-6558. Again, that's 443-267-6558. All right, good. So I had to get that out there, Dave. So if anybody wants to... Oh, you do have a question? Okay. We got a call. Okay. Our caller, go ahead and... Are you there, caller?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Michael.
Oh, okay. This is Michael Cotter?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. Mike, well, you're going to be on a little bit later anyways. How you doing?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Did you have a question for the guest who's on right now?
I do not.
Oh, okay, got you. Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, you stay put. Don't go anywhere. You know, just listen to the rest of the show, and you're going to be on after our next break. You're going to be on. All right?
Very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to hear you. All right. So, Dave, I'll get back to you. Your target audience, you're going after the Black community, and you're saying you're kind of focused, you're leaning kind of towards the younger generation. I think that's very good. Have you have you contacted any schools or religious organizations, any of these type of institutions to make them aware of what you've got? Because I think what you have there's a lot of value there. I see a lot of value in what you have, and I'm just curious to know.
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to people, different, educators over the course of the years, but nothing on a grand scale to try to promote them like that, which would be ideal. But it is definitely something that could be used to, like I said, enlighten our youth and so forth, whether it be in formal education or just in an ad hoc manner, via the website. And I'm basically just getting started with this to a large degree. My website just went up recently, I should say. But the cards are actually, these cards were actually developed, like 20 years ago, maybe a little longer. And with everything that's been going on, it was just, I just saw the opportunity to kind of reintroduce them, to try, like I said, bring a new paradigm to our collective consciousness,
Got you. Good. Now, actually, I have someone who sent me a message, and they would like for you to just repeat. I guess they have an interest in these cards, Dave. Okay, want to know how can they get this game? And this person, I think I know, happens to be an educator.
Website. Okay, I think the best thing to do is go to the website. The website is KhuCards, KHUCARDS.com, and you can order the cards there. Yeah, that would be the best method. I can also be reached at DGP347@MSN.com.
I think what you ought to do is repeat both again. Repeat your website and your contact number.
Okay, so the website again is KhuCards, because that's the name of the cards, KHU. And by the way, Khu means to be, truthful, righteous, all those accolades that we all should strive for.
Okay.
So that, and that's sort of one of those ancient type of words. So that's where I got the idea from. So it's KhuCards, KHUCARDS.com, and I can be reached. The best way to reach me is by email. It's DGP Delta Golf Papa 347@MSN.com.
Very good, very good. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think you're going to get some attention. Okay, I think they're going to be people reaching out to you because, this does. It sounds unique. Like you have like a unique proposition here or a unique product that you put out here on the market. And again, just to be able to educate people, and I like the idea of the message that you have in a game. And I just think, I am an educator to a certain degree. But I think that, one learns much, much better when they're having fun. You know what I'm saying? Versus,
Exactly.
I got to cram, I got to learn this, and I got to do this, I got to pass this test. I think that the level of efficacy increases tremendously when you can learn and have fun simultaneously. And that's what it seems like you have accomplished here.
Exactly, and like I kept to allude to, if you want to go dig into the history, you can go read these other, illustrious, professors' books and so forth. There's so many books out there, but basically that's where the idea came from. Like I said, it was a compilation of going through reading different historical books, listening to certain music, and so forth, and putting it together to kind of come up with this deck of cards. And it's probably the only deck of cards that you can sit on your mantelpiece that sits up straight.
Wow.
I mean, if you were to see the cards, you wouldn't even know that it was actually a deck of cards.
Man, Dave, that sounds awesome. My brother, that really sounds awesome. Now, I got one more question for you. With something, because it really sounds good to me. Have you thought or have you looked into really utilizing social media? Not just your website. That's one thing, the website, but various forms. I know what I had to do because I was naive to a lot of about social media, and I had to go and become educated on social media. But I learned that, it's the way of the future, and that is the way that so many of those in the younger generation, it's second nature to them. That's what they do. I'm talking about Instagram and Facebook and all of that. Where are you when it comes to that? Where do you stand in terms of utilizing social media as platforms to promote this game?
That's absolutely going to be part of the marketing plan.
Yes.
The plans are in development at this point in time. Like I said, the site is up, but some of the other social media networks that you alluded to,
yes,
it's being planned and developed to get into that type of social media, market too. So definitely.
That sounds awesome. Well, Dave, I'm telling you, it has been a pleasure bringing you on as a guest on Business in Motion. I wish you
thank you for having me
best
on,
of luck. I don't think it's going to take luck. I just think some initiative and, your goals will be achieved with this. It sounds like you really have it going on, Dave.
I appreciate that, Ronnie. Thank you. Right. And again, the website is KhuCards.
Yeah, please repeat.
KHUCards.com.
Okay, and repeat your phone number again. Or that? No, I don't think he gave a phone number. Well, whatever it is, whatever information you gave, just repeat it.
Yeah, I gave. Like I said, the best way to reach the website is by email, I should say, and that's dgp347@msn.com.
Thanks a lot, Dave, and I look forward to getting with you, my brother.
I appreciate it, Ronnie. Thank you, brother.
Okay, you have a great week. All right, so
All right.
let's